Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. This evening I have a box of 28 gauge TSS Duplex that is not completely full. So I'm gonna load up some 28 gauge TSS Duplex and let you guys come along and see what I do. So for components, I'm using Fiocchi. These are once fired, just target rounds. I've already primed these up with the Cheddite CX2000s, very similar to Win 209. We'll put that right there. So that's the hull, the primer. I resized these and primed them in a 9000 behind me. Obviously you could do it on the 600. I'm gonna be crimping these with the 600 Junior. And really that's the only thing I'm doing with the 600 is just pre-crimp, crimp, and that's it. I have my scale here. I've got my number 4 steel shot and number 8.5 TSS. This steel came from Precision. I've gotten it from BPI. I've gotten it from several different places in the past. This just happens to be Precision steel shot. Not plated, just regular old steel shot. This is 8.5 TSS. I get this from Hal over at tungstensupershots.com. So go over there, and if you need any TSS, he'll hook you up. Wads, I'm using the BPI TPS. They're 28 gauge TPS wads, pre-slit. It's about the only option. Well, I'm not gonna say it's the only option, but this is what I use to load this round. For powder measuring, I do not use the mech. I actually use an RCBS powder measure. It gives me very, very consistent, precise drops. So I'm not having to worry about bushings. And the way that you actually, put these things together, it's not like it's saving a bunch of time, okay? So I could just drop this in here, measure just to verify everything's great. That's perfect for what I want. And it'll give me, I'm talking within 1 grain just about every time. There's some powders, if you get into high power rifle and your big powders, it won't measure as easy. You gotta, really measure those out. But for the little gun H110, long shot, pro reach, the shotgun powder, steel, this thing is awesome. So let's just go ahead and get started with this. So what I do, got my primed hull, I take it here, put it underneath my little, boom, it's charged. Now I get into my wads, and these particular hulls, I can just stick it in there with my fingers and it goes down. Now, another thing that I'll do is I do push down and get a little bit of pressure on this just so everything will fit. Now, this is gonna be a 1 ounce load. And I always put the TSS on bottom, and I don't use a dipper. I've gotten pretty good at, figuring out how much I need to do without a dipper. Of course, I say that and I put a huge amount of shot in there. But anyway, 218.8 grains. You probably cannot see that, but that's what that is. It looks like a super small amount of shot. but there's about 148 pellets right there. And we pour it in the bottom. And again, that hull has basically, it looks like, I don't know if you can see it, not anything in there, but let me tell you, this is what does the killing at range, Now we're gonna do steel. Steel is 218. We're gonna take one out. So this is gonna end up at like 217.8, which is fine. Now, so this is what it looks like. You know, it is up to the top of the wad, but here's what I do. I tap it, let everything settle. Now you've gained a bit of room, okay? So on the crimp, now here's the thing with the crimp on this. I'm not wanting to go real far. That's just barely crimped over. You can crimp it too far and you'll mess your, and there you go. It's a very shallow crimp. It's not deep like a factory Fiocchi hull. It's almost consistent with what maybe a AA would look like, but everything fits, right? So this load, we're running about 1,300 feet per second, and there's one. So let's continue on. Get a nice powder drop here. We'll get us a wad. Put it in. Get some pressure on that wad. And now we're going to measure out our shot. So there's about 149, 150 of the TSS that goes in here. Steel shot, I think there's about 95 number 4 steel shot. And so here's the theory with this. Duplexing typically does not, it's not desirable. Not with like shot, not with, you know, if you're using the same type of shot, steel with steel, lead with lead. But when you have TSS, you really, really need something to help the pattern open up. We'll go one more. So that's 218. So that's a half and a half. So see, we're kind of heavy on that. So we'll tap him, get him down there. Get this just a little bit. There you go. Just a nice looking round. It's not gonna open back up. It's got a nice, you know, bevel in here, so it's gonna feed. I'm shooting these out of an automatic, or I'm sorry, a semi-automatic. The gun I'm using is it's a pointer, which they don't even manufacture anymore. Well, they do the pointer. LSI is selling a pointer, but it's called a Field Tech, which is made by a different company in Turkey. I don't know anything about that gun, but I'm shooting the older LSI pointer. Some of it will be called Phenoma. I don't even think you can find them. There may be gun shops, a local gun shop that you got that has one, you know, that they ordered and they just have it in stock. But as far as like trying to search out a new one, you're not going to find it. But with that being said, the TriStar Viper G2 is basically the same gun. It's a great gun. The Weatherby SA08, I think they're still producing those in 28 gauge. It's the same gun. The Mossberg SA08 is the same gun. It works great. Um, but 28-inch barrels, and believe it or not, I get the best results with a cylinder choke tube. I use I want to say a Carlson extended choke tube. This stuff holds a pattern real well out to Christ, as far as you want to shoot something. There you go, another one. And you know, it looks slow for me doing this. You know, this isn't a progressive reloader. This isn't, you know, we're not cranking out, you know, a box in 10 minutes. But if I wasn't sitting here talking to you and you get the process down, I mean, it doesn't take long at all. What else can we talk about TSS? So this is 8.5 TSS. This stuff is probably a little overkill for what I do, but I'm getting ready to go to Texas in January. We have the opportunity at Geese and Sandhill Cranes. So this 8.5 TSS ballistically is running really close to BBB steel shot. Okay, I know that's kind of hard to comprehend by looking at this stuff, as small as it is, but it's super dense. I'm not going to get into a math class of why it does what it does, but you just have to trust me. Number 4 steel. A lot of people say, man, you're crazy for Duplex and 4 and you know, TSS. Well, the 4, it actually, you know, you're killing birds in close with this stuff, you know, and it helps fill the pattern out. If I was just shooting TSS only, my pattern literally at 20 yards would be like this. I'm talking about nothing, but because the steel's in there, at 20 yards, I have a 30-inch circle full of shot. Now, it's not all TSS. A lot of it is steel. But all of the shot in that circle or in that pattern has the ability to kill ducks at 20 yards, even 30. At 40 and 50 and 60, and I shouldn't even say it, 70, 80, the TSS is what's really doing the work. And it's still holding that pattern that far out. I took a nice, really nice looking shell there. A little curve. I went a little heavy on the pre-crimp, and actually there's something that you have to be careful of. I don't know if you've ever used a mech, if you've ever had problems with a mech, but when you start seeing swirls and that kind of stuff, you know, you could adjust until your head blows up. But the thing is a lot of times you went a little too heavy with your pre-crimp. Matter of fact, I might just, you can still shoot them. They're just ugly as all get out. I might just put a little bit too much pre-crimp on one and show you what it looks like. Let's get to 218. One more. There we go. So we're at 218.9. So 218.75 is actually a half ounce. One more. So we're at 219. So, I mean, you know, I'm not going to gripe over a 1/10 of a grain. That's one thing that I will say about the TSS. The TSS that I get from Hal at tungstensupershots.com, it's so consistent. I'm talking about plus or minus a 1/10 or 2 every time that I'm measuring out these shots. So if you're really anal and you're trying to get your loads to be perfect, I mean, you know. All right, so let's look at this. So this is about where I would go to on the pre-crimp, and it gives you a real nice shell. So let's just go all the way down. We're gonna go real heavy. Now that doesn't look like a lot, but look what happens. It gets really twisted up. I mean, and it can get worse than that. Some people think that's, you know, what, it really looks good. Well, in reality, your pre-crimp's a little heavy. It could possibly change your pressure up a little bit. Who knows? But anyway, let me finish these out here. And if there's anything that I can think of, you know, I'll mention it to you. I've actually got some number 5 steel shot that I need to load up if you'd like to see that. I have a 3/4 ounce load of steel that I do in 28 gauge. I've also got some 410 that I need to do a little replenish on. So if you'd like to see the 410 Mech 600, go to work and do a duplex load in 410. That'd be great. I can do that for you. Just let me know. Drop comments down below. All right. Yeah, the steel's not as consistent. A little tap. See, it went a little too far on crimp on that one, just a little bit. But it's still good. I mean, it'll shoot just fine. A lot of people talk about the cost of TSS. Man, that stuff's too expensive. It's crazy. Well, I think, and look, don't quote me on this. And again, if you want me to figure out the math on this, I can tell you exactly to the penny what each shell's cost me. But I did the math a few years ago, and TSS and components and stuff haven't changed in price dramatically, I don't think. But I'm pretty sure, because I'm only shooting a 1/2 ounce of this stuff per shot, I think it came out to where it was equivalent to about $29 a box. And that's, you know, what that is. That's the cost of the TSS, the cost of the steel, the cost of the powder charge, the cost of the primer. The hull, I'm not including that cost because, I mean, I'm shooting once fired hulls, and, you know, you can actually, I guess you could buy them, and then you'd have some cost initiated into that. But the thing is, you know, go out and to your Academy, Bass Pro, your local farm store, Cabela's, where you're buying this stuff, and show me where they're selling you a 1,300 feet per second 1/2 ounce TSS, 1/2 ounce steel load. And as far as the shot size, so the 8.5, I'll be honest with you, it's probably a little bit of overkill for ducks. It's great for geese, cranes, stuff like that. Big ducks at range, 50, 60 yards. I mainly hunt over decoys, I'll be honest with you. I may take a shot at a lever, you know, running out at 45, 50 yards. And it does great for that. But when you start talking number 9, 9.5, and 10 shot, and 10 is actually what I load in the 410. I still load a 1/2 ounce of it. And I may start rethinking that because there's so many pellets in number 10. But for 410, you know, I like it. And a 410, a number 10 shot is ballistically almost like, I think number 2 steel. I'd have to look that up too. But anyway, they both kill ducks dead, and I'm talking dead. So yeah, this round's got a total of about 250 pellets. The number 4s, they're going to run out of gas at about 30 yards, maybe 35. The TSS at 35 yards is starting to fill in the pattern. And man, let me tell you, this stuff is good to go out there. 60, 70. And again, I hate to say that because nobody should really be shooting at a bird flying at that far, but if you can hit it, it'll kill it. I was on one of the forums the other day and I saw a post about, you know, TSS is so hard, man. If you bite into it, it's going to chip your tooth. I've been shooting this stuff for about, 5 or 6 years, maybe 4. But anyway, I eat and clean all the ducks that I kill. I have never found, well, let me take it back. I have found one TSS pellet, and it was in the backside skin of a canvasback that was breast shot. So it went all the way through. Every other duck I've ever shot, I have never, ever found a TSS pellet in it. It has gone through and through. So let me finish these up. Looks like I got 4 more to go. All right, there you go. What the heck? Finished off that box. We're gonna add it to the other 4 that I got over there. I'll probably take these out, take my Sharpie, put TSS on them just so I know what they are. But that's it. Talk to Hal, get you some TSS. Go get you some steel shot. Load up some TSS Duplex. It is a duck smasher and a goose killer. Anybody that's ever used it, they know what's happening. Appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, and if you want to see some more reloading stuff, let me know. Thanks. Bye.